For the second time in a week, joining the number one, everybody, it's Josh. Josh, welcome back to the number one. We got to stop meeting like this. We got to have end of season interviews, like where you have like a trophy or something like that. Tell you what,
dude,
you get to the end, you get to a challenge final when they bring you back next season to Destination X and you have that money. We'll make a trophy and we'll send it to you so you can have it next to you just to show off for us. That's the offer we're going to make you at this time.
I like that. Manifest that for me. It's time, dude.
We'll manifest. We're good manifestors over here at the number one. We love to manifest, and we love to tell people, hey, you're just hot. You can ask for things. You don't have to manifest. You just ask. You're hot. It works the same way. You know what I mean?
True.
Okay, let's talk about you've done a lot on reality television. How nerve-wracking were those 2 minutes in that map room? Because first of all, it looks very small. And then second of all, you just heard information. You're just like, what's going on?
And it's just spinning, bro. My brain was absolutely fried, dude. It was just cooked. I was just like, dude, for 3-4 days, non-stop chatter. Where Milan? We're here. And like, it's just, you see Rick say that. But the night before, we stayed up till late at night, and everybody was just talking of where we could possibly be. So I should have just blocked my brain because my gut was telling me we were in Rome, and just gone to bed and been like, that's it. Like, this is where I'm at. That's where I'm staying in here. But it's just, dude, it's, you know how these games are. They're so fast paced. There's so much going on. And I think that's what's going to make for good TV. It's going to be so unpredictable because you really don't know until you're trapped in that map room for those 2 minutes and the pressure's on. And then you got that, like, you know, you got to make that decision. So it's like, I even had a strategy. Like, if I wasn't certain I was going to go in the middle, I didn't even go in the middle. Like, I don't know. I wish I had an answer for you. I don't even know what the hell took over me in that moment to put Milan when I was so set for 2 days straight that it was Rome. Like, that's what's crazy.
I don't know. I was saying the whole thing about just go in the middle if you're unsure, but I would like to formally request, because I know they're listening, and I know obviously everybody at NBC listens to the number one. Release those 2 minutes footage. Put it online. I want to see. I think everyone, when they get eliminated,
that would be great, Jimmy. That would be great, because if you see stir crazy,
great ideas here. Great ideas here at the number one. So if that happens, I want those 2 minutes as like a YouTube clip every week. Just put them out there. I want to see people.
I agree. That would be actually really good, because my 2 minutes was absolute chaos. It was a crash. That's what it was.
And we know you're like a pro when it comes to crashing out. So this had to be just like absolutely delicious nuggets of television, you know, a post-credit scene.
Gold. They gave me grace in that edit, honestly. They made me love NBC for that.
Okay, so looking back now, obviously you would have stuck with your gut. Is there anything else you would have done different? I love the fact, and like I was like, he's gonna get up and he's just gonna absolutely roast Rick. I just know it. And then you stood up, you're like, he lied to me. He did all this, and Rick said, what is going on? So you're playing with people who aren't used to that scenario before. Was that like at all premeditated, or was that just Josh 100%. Being Josh?
No, 100%. I wanted to do it because I wanted to put a target on him. I wanted people, bro, I've done so many games, so I know when people are moving and like if they're gaming, and Rick was a gamer from jump. He was having one-on-ones and I saw it. I just didn't call it out. I was like, I'm going to, chill, Josh. Like, you got some time. I was out first. I had no time. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to put a target on him and try to buy my people that I want to see do well, like Biggie and the team that I worked with, go far. So that was all intentional. Now, what I regret and what I wish I would have done different is played more aggressive. I'm more of a like, I'm going to take control and take matters into my own hands. And instead of letting Biggie go see the town, I wish I would have done that, because then I would have been like, I'm in Italy, I'm in Rome, I know where I'm at. Instead of like having to go based off of information that they were giving me, like the one little clue that so that was tough.
I imagine because, in all the games that you've played, you do have a large role to like do yourself. This seemed like you don't have much that you can actually do other than guess, especially if you're like down in a well that far. There's not much you can do. How does that like affect like you like just being on that bus? I imagine you just like itching to get off at some point too, right?
I was itching to get off the first 9 hours, dude. Like the adapting to that bus ride was a game in itself. That was really hard. Obviously, it's part of the game, but that was tough. But I think, dude, even just like being in the well and all that stuff, I'm like, this has to be Rome. I'm like, this has to be. I thought we were Naples, actually, Naples, Italy. So I was like, this has to be Naples. This is just too familiar. Like, I was here last summer. I know where I'm at. So it's like, this was set up for me to do well, and I messed it up. And I just like, I can't even right now, like my brain is going blank again. Just I'm like, what, Josh? What the hell? What the hell? But it's tough, dude, when you're in the dark and you're completely like everything's just ripped away and you're it's not like it's not like Big Brother, like where you win a church or stuff like that. It's like it's a guessing game. And unless if you win the challenge, you're guessing, and that's you got to make the best guess. And that's just it's tough, dude.
Okay, so I know you got off and said, "Hey, there's a bar down the street we can get drinks." Did you get a drink with Mr. Jeffrey Dean Morgan? And if so, was it as magical as I imagine it was?
I No, I did not. So Jeffrey Dean Morgan, you owe me a beer. I ran off to the bar and I got a drink. He did not. He had to jump in the sprinter and jet to the next destination. So yeah, he didn't, but I did. But yeah,
So you
you owe
lost
me a beer,
twice,
dude.
is what you're telling me. You lost
I'm about to
twice.
DM him right now. You owe me a beer.
I think it's a great idea. You know what? Do it out here in LA. Come out to LA. We'll join you guys as well. You know what I mean? Like, I'll call TJ. I'll be like, TJ, join. And then it'll be like a doppelganger situation going on, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. So is there anybody, obviously we spoke a little bit about Rick. Is there anybody like your first impression after like 3 days, you're like, oh, this person is completely different than I thought out of the gate from what you first thought of them?
Mac. I knew Mac was gonna be a threat, but Mac really like me and Mac actually got into it a little bit in that like right before going into the map room because she kind of like calls me out. I can't remember what she said to me, but she kind of called me out and I was like, you know what? I was playing nice, but if I come back, like I'm gunning, like I'm gonna make sure that I make your life on this bus a living hell. So yeah, Mac surprised me. I thought she was like this little sweet girl, and Mac's there to play. You know, even her interviews where she's like, I'm gonna take the dumbest person. And so Mac is a gamer, somebody to keep your eye on. But yeah, she definitely was somebody that surprised me.
You know what's really funny? That when you said that, you said, I'm going to come back and make my life a living hell. And it was something very different. When after, as soon as she said, like, my thing here is just to get public validation that I'm great, immediately I was like, oh, this is Wes. This is Wes. This is a different version of Wes. And now, based off the interaction that you just
I
had,
clash with people like this. Like, I just don't do well with like that type of personality. Even though Mac is great, we get along. We get along.
It was so funny. It was so funny. Okay. Obviously, there's been talk about what you do next. What would you like to do next?
I would like to do. There's a couple projects that I would love to do, but I think the biggest one is Traders. I think Traders, I just want to do it. I just want to do it. I think it would be huge. And Deal or No Deal Island, I was originally called for Deal or No Deal before they pitched me for Destination X. Um, so or they pitched Destination X to me, but the original one before I left to go film the Telemundo show was Deal or No Deal. Um, and so I would love to do those two. I think right now I want to focus on working on different projects with different networks and I want to compete. I need a win. I need a freaking win in my belt. Like I'm hungry to game. I'm hungry to play. Like that's it.
Okay.
So I'm ready to just get in there and play a game. So one of those two would be fun.
Okay. So obviously the main show we recap is the challenge. I'm not going to ask you anything specific about that because I know you've made some opinions very well. You've put it out there, so I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But if you were to take anybody from this season of Destination X, who would thrive on the challenge?
Ali, Biggie, and Shane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
For
that
all
they
kind of the same
have
reasons.
energy. I think they have the energy. I think they're good competitors. I think that they just have this like. I think Shane is going to get in a lot of blow ups. I think he has this like either you love him or hate him. He's very much like me, but I think he would be great on the show. He would compete well. I think Biggie would be fun. Ali would just be great TV.
Yes.
So yeah, those. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. All right, bud. Again, next time this got to be a postseason interview. Like no more preseason. We got to get a postseason interview. Like lock it down. I don't care what the show is. Like
I think I'm going into hiding for a little bit.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna just pop up a new version of Josh because I think that's what we got to do for a little bit. And then just
what everybody doesn't know is they released the Survivor 50 thing today. You're one of those shadowed people that they have crossed out. That's what it is. That's what it is. We understand. We got it. We're not. No, that's not true. I don't need that being clipped and put everywhere.
You're awesome, dude.
All right,
thanks.
man. All the best. We enjoy always having you here. Thanks for your time, man.